Hello my friends and welcome back to my channel. Assassin's Creed Origin just recently received a 60 FPS update on the Xbox Series and the PlayStation 5. Time for me to check out HDR. Okay my friends, so let's talk about my recommended settings for the LG CX, C1 and C2, and please keep in mind those are my recommended settings. It may not fit your TV at all, but just do me a favor and give it a try because I really like HDR in this game. It is very powerful, you have very good contrast, and the LG CX, even it is already a very old TV, or not very old, but over 2 years now, it makes a very good impression in this game. Okay, so let's talk about my settings, and I like to show you this. We're starting with brightness for the LG CX, and what you can see here, the brightness slider is directly above the L. So this is what I found is in terms of the brightness setting for the LG CX and also for my second TV, the best choice. I will talk about my second TV, which by the way is the QN95B in a second, but this right now is for the LG CX. HDR settings. The best setting actually to meet the maximum luminance on the LG CX would be 900, because then the game would output 840 candela. But, and this is a big but, what I found, and this is what I don't like, the sun doesn't look quite good to me with setting to 900. I don't like that the sun is just a very round object like a ball. I really prefer actually in this game to have a little bit of a higher peak brightness set to 1000, and then the sun actually looks, in my opinion, much better. But do me a favor, give it a try, set the maximum peak luminance on your LG CX, C1 or C2 to 900 and to 1000 and compare what you like better. In terms of the Paperwhite setting, there are actually two different settings. One setting, 150 candela or 150, is for dynamic tone mapping on, because dynamic tone mapping on will actually increase the average picture brightness already a little bit, so there's no need to have a higher brightness in the game. But for HGHG I would actually recommend to use 200 to have a nice, very bright picture during the day, and then you get this picture, and I really like it. It is amazing actually, this game. It's already a little bit old, but I had a lot of fun exploring this city here, and again HDR in this game is really great. Okay, so let's talk about my brand new TV, the QN95B from Samsung, and most likely I will do a first impression video on the weekend, but spoiler alert, spoiler alert, I really do like this TV for HDR gaming. The maximum peak luminance, what I was able to measure on this TV in certain games, is around 1700 candela, which is of course much brighter than the LG CX. In terms of the settings, there's no surprise because the option menu is exactly doing what you're asking for. So my recommendation for the QN95B is set the maximum luminance to 1700, Paperwhite to 200, and then you're good to go. In terms of brightness, there's no difference in or compared to my LG CX. The slidness slider should be above the L. I really think that's the best value to play this game. On the QN95B or similar QD OLED TVs, make sure you use the Game HDR mode from Samsung, which can be found under Connection, Game Mode Settings, HDR Tone Mapping, and then make sure this box is ticked to have the most accurate HDR picture on the Samsung TVs. Let's take again a look on my recommended settings for the CX, C1, C2, S95B, G2, and of course the QN95 series. Please keep in mind that my recommendations for the S95B and G2 are really just recommendations. I can't verify those settings at all, but because the G2 is very similar to the CX, just with a higher peak brightness, I would assume those values are actually fitting perfectly. In terms of the maximum peak luminance, what you can see here, this is what the TVs are capable of displaying in terms of the maximum luminance. Those are the settings for the game. So set the CX, C1, C2 to 1000. I really recommend 1000, but Give it a try with 900 as well, because 900 would fit 800 candela for the CX, C1, C2 much better than 1000. But again, I like, or I don't like, the setting 900 and how the sun or certain very bright objects actually look on the screen. In terms of HGIG versus dynamic tone mapping, in this game I would actually recommend to use, if you use HGIG, use 200 for Paperwhite, and if you use dynamic tone mapping on, just decrease the value to 150, because dynamic tone mapping on is already having a higher average picture brightness, so there is no need to have a Paperwhite setting around 200 in my opinion. The same counts of course for the G2 S95B. There is not really a HDR mode as on the LG CX, but give it a try what Paperwhite setting you like more and put it in the comment section please. In terms of my brand new QN95B, again, the maximum peak brightness of this TV is 1700 candela, which is great. And the maximum luminance setting for the game is 1700, and I'm using also Paperwhite setting 200. In terms of the brightness setting in this game, the slider is above the L, because I found personally this is the best way to play this game. And if you like this video, please do me a big favor, like, share and subscribe. I see you guys next time. Bye.